The horns sound loud over the hills. You tighten your grip on your shield and follow the line of soldiers as they begin to move. Dust rises from the dry ground under your boots. You can feel the heat from the sun, your armor heavy on your shoulders. You say a quiet prayer in French, the words shaky in your mouth. Ahead you see the high walls of a city. You know little of this place, only that you've come a long way from home. You are part of a crusade, one of many sent by European leaders to the Holy Land. You wonder what waits beyond those walls, and if you'll ever return home again. The Crusades were a series of military expeditions that took place between the 11th and 13th centuries. They were launched by European Christians who wanted to take control of Jerusalem and other places in the Holy Land that were important to their religion. These lands were under Muslim rule at the time. There were at least 8 major crusades, along with many smaller ones. While the goal was religious, the Crusades were also about power, politics, and land. The First Crusade began in 1096. It was called for by Pope Urban II, the leader of the Roman Catholic Church. He gave a speech in France asking people to go to the Holy Land and take back Jerusalem from Muslim control. He told them that this was a holy duty. Many people answered the call. Some were knights, others were farmers and townspeople who had never traveled far from home. They believed they were doing something sacred. Traveling from Europe to the Middle East was long and dangerous. Crusaders walked or rode horses for hundreds of miles. They crossed mountains, rivers, and deserts. Food was often hard to find, and many people became sick along the way. Still, the First Crusade ended with the capture of Jerusalem in 1099. The Crusaders set up several small states in the region and planned to hold them with help from European rulers. But the Crusader states did not last without challenge. Over the next few decades, Muslim leaders began to unite and push back. One of the most famous Muslim leaders of this time was Saladin, who recaptured Jerusalem in 1187. This led to the Third Crusade, where European kings like Richard the Lionheart of England traveled to the Holy Land to fight. They won some battles but were unable to take back Jerusalem. After many years of fighting, Richard and Saladin agreed to a peace deal that allowed Christian pilgrims to visit the city. Other crusades followed, but they became less focused and less successful. Some, like the Fourth Crusade, didn't even reach the Holy Land. Instead, crusaders attacked the Christian city of Constantinople, causing anger and division between Christian groups. Later crusades tried to protect crusader states or stop the spread of Muslim power in other areas, but most failed. By the end of the 1200s, the last crusader strongholds in the Holy Land had fallen. The Crusades caused great hardship for many people. Thousands of crusaders died on the long journeys or in battles. Many local people in the Holy Land, Muslims, Jews, and Christians, also suffered. Entire towns were affected, and families were separated. While the Crusaders believed they were doing something holy, their actions often led to confusion, destruction, and lasting tensions. However, the Crusades also had long-term effects beyond war. They helped increase trade between Europe and the Middle East. European crusaders brought back new goods like spices, silk, and ideas in science and medicine. These new ideas slowly helped bring about changes in European learning and thinking. The Crusades also led to stronger kings and centralized governments in Europe, as rulers raised armies and collected taxes to support the efforts. Relations between different religious groups were deeply changed by the Crusades. Many Muslims saw the Crusaders as invaders. Many Jews also faced violence during the Crusades, even in Europe. Some Christian crusaders attacked Jewish communities on their way to the Holy Land, believing they were fighting for their faith. These actions caused deep harm and left long-lasting wounds. The Crusades were not just about religion. They were also shaped by power, money, and politics. Some people joined to gain land, riches, or fame. Others were forced to go. Some believed deeply in the religious purpose. The reasons were mixed, and the outcomes were complex. Today, historians look at the Crusades as a powerful example of how belief, leadership, and conflict can shape the world. They remind us that even when people believe they are doing good, Their actions can have serious effects on others. The Crusades were not just battles. They were moments when whole societies came into contact, often in painful ways. Tombstones from that time still stand in parts of Europe and the Middle East. Old letters, records, and buildings remind us of the people who lived, traveled, and died during the Crusades. Some went with hope, others with fear. Many never returned. Their stories are part of world history and still matter today. The Crusades show us that history is rarely simple. They involved bravery, loss, and lessons we are still learning. While the battles have long ended, the memories remain, helping us ask important questions about how we live with others, what we believe, and how we can make peace in a world filled with many different people and ideas.